Hey, what's up, viewers? Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore here, and welcome back to another video. And welcome to a very special video on this Thanksgiving. In today's video, I'd like to take a moment and talk about what I'm thankful for. Let's get into it. I'd like to start with my family. I'm so thankful for my family. About a month or two ago, I'm not going to go into much detail, but my mom had to be taken to the hospital, and she stayed in the hospital for about 1 to 2 days, and then she came back. But what was crazy about that particular moment was that, Dad was wondering, when is she going to come home? And I'm just thankful for my family. My Aunt Lori, whenever my mom was being put in the ambulance, Lori Lauer, she was there, and she was encouraging both of us. And we had our neighbors, our one next door neighbor, saying, "Hey, if you need anything, let me know." And we just had people that were supporting us while we were in this situation. And I'm just thankful for my family. You never know when you're going to run into a situation like this, but it's a good thing knowing that you're not facing the situation alone. You got family around you that's supporting you and encouraging you along the way. And even my one neighbor, I was letting her know, giving updates and stuff, and that goes into my church family also. Just thankful for my church family. When me and my dad went through that situation, with my mom, it was difficult to figure out what was going to happen next or how it was going to go. But, me and my dad were not afraid. We weren't concerned. And that was our faith in God. But I want to say I'm thankful for my church family. When that happened, I immediately told one of my church friends, and it went, and just the fact that they knew about what was going on, and the fact that they were praying for us and praying for the family, the fact that they were with us in this situation, and they want us to know that we weren't alone, that's something to be thankful for. And I'm really thankful for my church family. I have some good friends that I go to church with every Sunday, especially Ryan Gaydon. And I hope they don't mind this, but for those that don't know, every Sunday morning I go to church very early. Church starts about 10:30 up at our church, and I help Ryan Gaydon cook breakfast. And it's very fun every Sunday. They make sure that when I when I do when I help them with breakfast, it's not boring. It's actually a lot of fun. We get to laugh, we get to enjoy ourselves, and it's a fun experience. It's a fun thing to do every Sunday. And I'm just thankful for my church family. They're always there for me whenever I need them, and I'm just thankful for them. I also just want to say I'm very thankful for my sports family. And I'm talking about all of the parents that go to the sporting events that I go film, like football, baseball, basketball. They also support me whenever I need it. If you viewers remember what happened at McCallsburg, all of the negativity that came out of me that night. I just remembered typing up an apology on the way home from that game. And a lot of the people that were commenting on the post that I made, a lot of them were my friends. They were my teammates, the parents of the kids that were on the varsity team. And that was a blessing knowing that I wasn't dealing with this alone, and that I had people that were supporting me, when this occurred. And there was a lot that happened this season, and everything that went wrong, I'm just thankful that my teammates, my sports family, they were there for me and they supported me in every way possible. Which, speaking of that, I'm also thankful for Jill Norris. Without Jill Norris, I don't think I'd be ever filming Williamsburg Sports ever again. Let me explain this. So, I was in the middle of we were in the middle of district playoffs for baseball, and we took on Moshannon Valley. If you didn't see the game, we lost the game 5-2, and there went our season. And it was the second year in a row that we were knocked out of the second round of district playoffs. And it's like, you know, nothing good's going to come out of this. And I basically said, I'm done. I'm not doing this again. And I was basically going to stop filming baseball just because we were playing so badly. We were knocked out of the second round of district playoffs the last 2 years, and the last 2 seasons, and basically I'm done. I don't want to do this again. And I remember talking to Jill Norris that night, and Jill Norris basically told me, when she films, it's not for, she doesn't really care whether we win or whether we lose. We all want to see our Blue Pirates and our Lady Pirates win, but sometimes we will have to face the losses, and I get it. It's challenging. I know for me, it was very challenging during baseball season because, we went through a lot during baseball season. And, and I'm not just talking about baseball, but yeah, I'm going to talk about baseball specifically. So, if you remember the 15U season, we lost Preston Long in the game against Bellwood, and we were without one of our best players, and I got to tell you, that was challenging. I don't know how I was going to keep going, but I kept going because, of course, why not? I was doing it for a purpose. So, Jill Norris, she told me after the District 6 loss in the second round, she says the reason why she films is basically she loves it. She loves getting to bring the fans with her to games. Now, Jill's not packing 100 people into her vehicle. No, that's not what I mean. I mean, she gets to bring the fans with her. Whenever she live streams, she gets to bring the fans with her to the games that they're not able to attend. And I just like the fact that Jill Norris told me, hey, I do it because I love it. And you know what? That's what made me realize, what? I have to admit, I do love doing this. It's a lot of fun. Even though we haven't found much success as a baseball team, our 15U was forfeited. That season was forfeited. The junior high had a good season. They ended the season 8-8. Even though we haven't found much success during baseball season, I absolutely love doing baseball. Absolutely. You can't go wrong with, and that's gonna lead me to the next person I'm very thankful for. And I just want to say I am very thankful for my coaches. But before I do that, I want to continue with Jill Norris. The fact that Jill Norris said that she does this because she loves it, that's what made me think, hey, you know what? I'm worried about winning and losing. It's I really shouldn't. And during the off season, I've been looking back at videos and I've been like, why did I do this? But I've realized that, look, it's not always about the winning and the losing. It's, I've learned that it's more about being a part of a team, being part of a family, and when we lose, we lose together. When we win together. That's what I am approaching every single team that I work with from now till whenever I decide to retire. And it's really cool to get to do this. And one other thing that Joe Norris told me was, you know, it's being involved in the game and sharing with others. I don't know why, but maybe I just got tuned to baseball and that's why, some of the crazy things happen. But I think being involved in the game is always exciting, no matter what sport I do. I think being involved, being able to commentate the games and being able to watch everything that unfolds, whether it's good or bad, and being able to bring the game to the viewers, that's a blessing. And I'm thankful for that opportunity. Now, my coaches. So I'm thankful for my coaches. Now, I'm going to be specific on my coaches a little bit. So I'm going to start with the basketball, since now we're in basketball season. I'm thankful for Angela Detweiler and Jeff Detweiler. You know what? The last season for basketball and baseball, I've been wondering why was I limited during basketball playoffs. Now, let me explain. So, there's a PIAA rule that states that you are prohibited from filming basketball playoffs. But I don't think that they were too specific. I think they were trying to say, they should have said, you're allowed to film, but you're not allowed to put up a full game on whatever platform that you are, where you usually post your videos and stuff, game videos. But, looking back, I've realized that, look, the reason why Jeff Detweiler was saying these things, the reason why he was limiting me a little bit was that I think he was trying to have me understand that, look, he's trying to keep me safe. He doesn't want me to get fined. He doesn't want me to get sued. He doesn't want me to get fired, He wants me to be able to film our teams. He wants me to be able to document however much success we have during the season. And that's why Jeff Detweiler, that's why he limits me during playoffs. But I'm also thankful for Angela Detweiler. The same thing. So, Tuesday, so I got up Tuesday morning and I got a text from my aunt saying, hey, Ange told me to tell you not to film the scrimmage because we don't film scrimmages. And I was like, wait a second. Why? Like, Ange wasn't being specific. And then I go into the scrimmage Tuesday night, and Ange walks up to the bleachers where I was sitting at, and she basically was explaining to me in more detail, okay, yeah, it actually wasn't Angela Detweiler that said we don't film scrimmages. That was Amy Heilman, who used to coach for the Lady Pirates. That's the person that said, hey, we don't film scrimmages. And my aunt was explaining to me that basically the reason why there's even filming in the first place for scrimmages is they want the coaches to be able to watch that footage and adjust whatever, look at what needs to be cleaned up, look what needs to be adjusted, and just make sure that they see what they need to see. And that's why we're not allowed to film scrimmages. So that was very understandable. I like how that Angela Detweiler is very understandable. She understands that, yes, I do like to film basketball. I do like to, get into it and stuff. But she realizes at the same time that we got to respect Amy Heilman's decision. And we want to make sure that we respect the decision of whoever was the last coach, And I'm just thankful for Ange and Jeff Detweiler. While they're very strict, at the same time they're very understandable. They understand that, I like to film basketball, I like to film baseball, but they want to make sure that I'm protected, and they want me to make sure that I'm not getting into any trouble that I do not want to get in. So I'm thankful for both Ange and Jeff Detweiler. Before I continue with my coaches, I would like to just take a moment and say that I'm thankful for my Aunt Lori Lauer. Whenever I went through that situation at McConnellsburg, where all the negativity came out of me, she was the person that called on Wednesday before that Tussey Mountain game and said, "Hey, I want to encourage you. You should be encouraging the team whether we're doing good or whether we're doing bad." And that was really encouraging. And the fact that Lori Lauer, she understands the intensity of basketball. She played basketball back in the 80s. She scored her 1,000th point back in 1984. The fact that she understands how intense basketball games can get, and the fact that she just wants me to know that we should be encouraging the team no matter how bad we're playing or no matter how good we're playing, that's what really encouraged me going through the rest of the season. And continuing into this season and even baseball season, I'm gonna look back on what Lori said, and I'm gonna approach every single season from now to the future, in that way. So continuing with the coaches, I'm thankful for Michael Farrell and Michael Lingenfelder. Let's start with Michael Lingenfelder. He was in our fellowship club. So in about 9th grade, I think it starts about 9th grade, during 5B, we get out of our study hall, which study hall for me wasn't too boring. I mean, I was in Miss Mock's room, getting stuff done, or, just keep myself busy and stuff. But sometimes, I would like to be able to be with other friends. And at Fellowship Club, that was really the big opportunity to be able to not only get to be with my friends, but also get to share my faith and get to, share what we like. We all had something in common in that Fellowship Club. And that was the fact that we like to read the Bible and we like to talk about God, And Michael Lingenfelder was one of the people that ran that Fellowship Club. And it was just so cool for Michael Lingenfelder to be able to be part of our Fellowship Club. He always had something interesting to say. He was able to explain what we were talking about specifically to us in a way where we could understand it better. And I'm just thankful for Michael Lingenfelder for that reason. Michael Farrell, the fact that he's one of our baseball assistant coaches for varsity, very encouraging. He's encouraging whenever he's in school, and he's encouraging when he's outside of school, as the varsity baseball assistant coach. And I'm thankful for Michael Farrell for that reason. And then let's get into baseball. You viewers already know who I'm going to talk about first. Jerry Palmer. I'm thankful for Jerry Palmer. Now, I'm going to be specific because Jerry Palmer will be mentioned twice in this video, but I'm going to stick with the baseball this time. So, for those that want to know how I got started as a videographer for Williamsburg Sports, I'll briefly mention it. So, I was a cheerleader during my senior year, and I got the opportunity to ride with the varsity girls and varsity boys during the playoffs. And a couple times we got to win some championships. For the Lady Pirates, we won the ICC and the District 6. And I got to film both escorts. And both times Jerry Palmer was driving. And that's what got me started. That's how I knew Jerry Palmer, was because of that reason. And why am I thankful for Jerry Palmer? He has a good sense of humor. I have been looking back at just about every baseball game that I've filmed from last season to this last season in 2024. And I've looked back on some of the really cool moments. Jerry Palmer says something and either it's funny or it's cool or it could be something else. I don't know. But one thing that Jerry Palmer shared during his first year coaching was something that I'll remember for the rest of my life and I'll look back on. So he was talking with his team, and he said during the bottom of the first inning of one of our games, which was against Moshan Valley, this was during Jerry Palmer's first year coaching. He said, "I like how we're patient out there, boys. Be patient." He said it specifically, and he was specific when he said it. You get 3 strikes. You should look at the pitcher and see what he's going to throw to you. Now, obviously, Jerry Palmer was talking about baseball, right? But he was actually going beyond that. And you know what? I get it. Last basketball season was not fun. We didn't win a single championship for varsity. The junior high won 2 championships, with the varsity boys winning 1 and the junior high girls winning 1. But you just got to be patient. And that patience that came from Jerry Palmer when he encouraged the team that day. I like how we're patient out there. Boys, be patient. Honestly, baseball season the last two seasons have not been fun. We've got knocked out in the first round of 14U playoffs last year. We've gotten knocked out of district playoffs 2 years in a row. We had to deal with Preston's hamstring injury and a bunch of other stuff. But, eventually I'd like our team to win their first ICC and their first District 6 championship, but who knows when that'll be. But what I will tell you this is that I don't mind waiting, because working with Jerry Palmer is an absolute pleasure. It's a pleasure to work with him. He's got that good sense of humor, and every time that I arrive at the game, Jerry Palmer likes me being there. I think it's just fun. I think it's fun for Jerry Palmer to get to watch the baseball games that he coaches. It's a lot of fun, and he enjoys it. It's a lot of fun. So one story I'll share. This is from this last season, and I'm gonna go ahead and share this. So I don't usually go to road games for baseball, especially last season, because it was my first year last year, and I wanted to stick with the home games. Start small. I didn't want to take a big step and then, have something go wrong. But this season, I got to go to a couple road games. One of them was West Branch. So we left about 2:30. Mom took me up to West Branch. And we were on our way, and all of a sudden, Jerry Palmer's like 2 to 3 cars behind us. And Jerry Palmer was pretty surprised that I even showed up to that game. But I think the funniest part that day was the fact that Jerry was driving, and he noticed that me and my mom were 2 cars in front of him on the whole way up to West Branch. That was probably my favorite moment. The fact that, and it's just a funny moment that I'm sure Jerry Palmer will be looking back on, just a cool moment. But anyways, overall, I'm just thankful for Jerry Palmer, his good sense of humor, he's just a good person, a real good person, and a good coach to have. What a pleasure to get to work with Jerry Palmer every baseball season. Speaking of baseball, Mike Refner. I'm very thankful for Mike Refner. He got me started with the Federation and VFW baseball. If you viewers didn't hear the story, I'll just briefly share. So, I was just coming off of my first year of varsity baseball filming, and I needed a team to do. I just bought my new camera, and I reached out to Mike Refner and I said, "Hey, do you have the schedule for the 14U and the 8U?" I think I found it out probably on Facebook. And Mike Refner said that he had the schedule for the 14U, and he said, "I do not know who's coaching the 8U." But anyways, so I went to my first game against Bellwood, UVHA, and that particular game was my first VFW / Federation game I ever did. And it was actually the first time I got to work with Mike Reffner. It was a lot of fun. I mean, even though we got knocked out in the first round of playoffs, that was bad. But the fact I got to work with Mike Reffner, that was a lot of fun. And heck, even Jerry Lauer. Why would I forget Jerry Lauer? You know, one of the other coaches. But the fact that I got to work with Mike Reffner and Jerry Lauer, and even the fact I get to work with them during varsity baseball season, that's a lot of fun. You know, and I'm thankful for Mike Reffner and Jerry Lauer. So, this would not be a video without me talking about another baseball coach. Now, you're probably wondering, who do you think it's going to be? Because there are a lot of baseball coaches. Ryan Gorsuch, Jeremy Miller, Amber Coral, Josh Kroll. Who's it going to be? Well, if I had to pick another person that I'm thankful for baseball, it has to be, hands down, Josh Kurtzy. The very first year that I did junior high was when Josh Kurtzy took over for Jerry Lauer and Mike Reffner. And let me just tell you, probably one of the best coaches in baseball. Now, you're probably wondering, so you're saying Jerry Palmer's not one of the best coaches in baseball? Listen, I understand. Okay, yes. Jerry Palmer is one of the best coaches, but varsity. One of the best varsity coaches. But Josh Kurtzy, one of the best junior high coaches. And let me give you a reason why. He preaches at Grace Point at the same time. So he's always encouraging the team. And I just like that, you know. I like how he's calm and he's encouraging the team. You know, he's using what he's preaching on Sundays at Grace Point, and he's encouraging the team every single game, you know. And I really like that, you know. And you know what? I'm just going to honestly tell you, viewers, right now, if Jerry Palmer had to retire next year, which hopefully he doesn't, hopefully we get like 5 or 10 years more of Jerry Palmer before he decides to retire. But if Jerry Palmer had to retire right now, I would say Josh Kurtzy should take over. The fact that I think he would really be a good fit for the varsity, and the fact that he preaches at Grace Point and he uses what he preaches and he's encouraging the team, and he's just a good junior high coach. And I think if Jerry Palmer had to retire, I think Josh Kurtzy should take over. Just a really good coach. And I think he'd be a good leader too, since he's a preacher at Grace Point. So, thankful for Josh Kurtzy. So, I will also just honorably mention Ryan Gorsuch. Thankful for Ryan Gorsuch as a baseball coach, and Jeremy Miller and Amber Coral and Josh Coral and even Tyler Elvey. Now, we're going to continue with this special video. I'm thankful for my coworkers. So, if you viewers did not know, back in June, or actually back in May, I got a phone call from the school saying, hey, they were offering me an opportunity to be able to work at the school during the summer. And you know what? I will honestly say that was a good time. When I got that call and I accepted, I was welcomed with open arms. And I worked with some of the best coworkers ever. You know, Mike Mingle, obviously, probably one of the best bosses in the school. Janitorial, custodial, one of the best bosses. I also got to work with Brad Brua and a bunch of other people. Rich Estep. I'm thankful for my coworkers. You know, even when I first got started this summer, I was getting used to it and stuff, and they were helping me out, and it was just so cool, you know, to have those kinds of coworkers helping me out and stuff. So I'm thankful for my coworkers, my custodial coworkers. Speaking of custodial and / maintenance, I'm thankful for a friend that I had back at CTC, and Tom Miller. I'm thankful for Tom Miller. The fact that I got to work with him the 3 years I went to CTC, And I just liked how, we connected. And I like we got to have good conversations together. We got to work together. And a lot of what we did, looking back, I guess you can say it taught me, look, we're together. We're part of a team. And when you're part of a team, you stick together as a team and you encourage each other. And that's why I'm approaching every single sport with we win together. We lose together. And no matter how bad the season goes, and no matter how good the season goes, we're part of a team, and a team always sticks together. Tom Miller, a good friend of mine from CGC, we did a lot of really fun stuff together at CGC, and I can't remember any, or at least many, but just a lot of fun to work with, a fun person to work with. So I'm thankful for Tom Miller, guy from CGC. And this video wouldn't be a video without my teachers. I gotta say, there's a lot of teachers that I'm thankful for. And there's a lot of teachers that I can mention. But I'm gonna mention a few of them. Two of my favorites is where I'll start. And I'm gonna start with Miss McMullen. She was one of the other teachers that was part of our fellowship club when I was enrolled at WHS the last 3 years. And she was also one of the leaders. And it's just so cool when you get to but it's just cool when you get to be with Miss McMullen and Mr. Lingenfelder during fellowship club. And the fact that we both got to share our faith and talk about the Bible and be with other friends doing the same thing, talking about the Bible. I really like that. It's just so cool. And I'm thankful for Miss McMullen for that particular reason. Mr. Kelly Over. I don't know what else to tell you. I'm thankful for Mr. Over because not only is he one of my favorite teachers, but the fact that he's a good man, he's special, he's just really cool to have as a teacher. One of my favorite moments, and I do, by the way, so let me share this. So when I was in school, we were in our homerooms a couple times during the year where we got our report cards and stuff. And the one year we got papers, these like newspapers and stuff, and it was our school newspaper. Well, the one day we got the school newspaper, and one of the things it said was that Mr. Over got Teacher of the Month. So what was that all about? So here's the full story. So WTAJ was doing a Teacher of the Month, and Christy Shields would be going to a school and would be giving the teacher a certificate and stuff. And WTAJ worked with another company to for Teacher of the Month, and Miss Brown got it, and it's like, you got to be kidding me, because the high school teachers, they don't get much credit. Mr. Over is one of I don't know how many teachers that has to deal with, crazy rowdy kids, and yes, our senior class, we've had some very crazy and rowdy kids, but none of our high school teachers were getting any credit. So one day, I think I was in Mrs. House's room. We weren't doing anything, and I got online, and this is Y103.9 was the station name, and they were doing a Teacher of the Month, and I'm like, I'm gonna try this. So I typed in the teacher's name that I wanted to hopefully get Teacher of the Month, and then I don't know how many, maybe it was a day later or a week later or a month later, I don't even know. This was back in 2019. But somehow, some way, Mr. Over found out that he got Teacher of the Month for the month of November. This is back in 2019. And it was crazy. So in the article in the newspaper that we got, the day we were getting I think it was the report cards. But anyways, it said that the class would get like an ice cream party. It would get, everyone would get like certificate and stuff. And oh my goodness, man, was that fun. So the day that the day that we had that party, now obviously it was our class because since I was in American Cultures, that was the class that got the special stuff. So the Allied Milk Producers, they came in. We did like a bingo or something. We talked about dairy and stuff. And I don't know who it was. Maybe it was Miss Burgess that asked me. She's like, I guess to paraphrase, she asked me. She's like, "Why did you nominate Mr. O for Teacher of the Month?" And I said, and I specifically said, Over, really a really special person. He's on fire for God. He's a special person. And the teachers, the high school teachers, now I didn't say it to Miss Burgess, but the high school teachers, they didn't get any credit. And it's like, why not give some teacher credit? One of the high school teachers, let's give him some credit because Over goes through a lot every single day. And even 2 years later, after I graduated, he's probably still dealing with crazy rowdy kids. Probably from, the next senior classes that are graduating the next however many years. But anyways, so after I mentioned why, they wanted to get our picture, so Over got the certificate. And I wonder, now what I'm very curious about is, I wonder if Over still has that certificate from that day. He probably does. But we got to get in a picture together. So me and Over got a picture to get in a picture together. And I'm trying to think who took it. Maybe it was the yearbook or something. I don't know who took it. But anyways, we got our picture taken. And that was cool. Then we get to watch whatever movie we were watching. And then I was just getting out of my one appointment. And we had cheerleading pictures that day. So I was on my way up to the high school. And I was so worried about hopefully making it to the school in time to be able to get my picture taken for cheerleading. Well, anyways, so we make it. But on the way there, there's a red vehicle turning. And actually, it just so happened to be the guy who got Teacher of the Month, Mr. Over, passing us. And I think he waved. But that was a cool moment. Getting to see Over a bunch of hours since he got that Teacher of the Month certificate. That was just so cool. And I just gotta say, that was such a cool moment. So I'm thankful for Mr. Over. Another teacher I'm thankful for is Ms. Mock, C. Mock. You know what? I worked with her during study hall. She helped me with all the important work we had to do. Tests, quizzes, worksheets, all that stuff. And she's just she is such a special person. She is always willing to help whoever needs help, and she's just so special. I can't say anything else. She's just so special. So I'm thankful for Miss Mock. And one more group I'm going to mention to end this special Thanksgiving video. I got to thank my bus drivers. They're so special. And like I said, I'm going to only mention a few people. And let's go back to Jerry Palmer and let's talk about Jerry Palmer. Let's bring him back into the conversation. So, for those that want to know how I got started filming baseball, Jerry Palmer got me started. Of course, Jill Norris, she inspired me to even do this in the first place, but Jerry Palmer gave me a launch pad to be able to start filming. And the launch pad was his bus. And I thought that was so cool. Not only is Jerry Palmer a good baseball coach for varsity, but also a good bus driver. You know what? When I had him for my senior year, we went to Claysburg and Mount Aloysius and Huntington. And I just thought Jerry Palmer was super fun as a bus driver. Super fun. I gotta honestly admit, when we got escorted the first time, when I was a cheerleader, it was boring. And you know why it was so boring? Junior Pheasant was driving. That's what made the whole celebration boring. But when you put Jerry Palmer behind the wheel of his own bus, and we just won our ICC championship on his birthday, man, isn't that, it makes it real exciting. You know, Jerry made the excitement less boring. And if you haven't seen that escort video yet, be sure you check it out. The ICC and the District 6. Jerry Palmer gets really into it, lays on the bus horn, and just, man, and just enjoys himself. It's just so cool, you know. So I'm thankful for Jerry Palmer as a bus driver. Another guy I'm thankful for, and you viewers are wondering, why do I even mention this person? I'm going to go ahead and mention him anyway. So Randy Carper, a guy you probably don't even know. So I started going to CTC during the 2020-21 school year, and Randy Carper was one of our bus drivers. Now, Fred did sub a couple times whenever you know, Randy could not drive us. So I'm thankful for Fred, obviously. But Randy Carper, he's not as close to Jerry Palmer in terms of, you know, he's not exciting. I'm not saying that he doesn't do a good job. Yes, Jerry Palmer's a good bus driver, but Randy Carper at the same time is also a good bus driver. Every time somebody gets on the bus, you know, he'll say good morning to them and stuff, and he's just a really cool person, a real nice person. And a story I'll share, I was getting on his bus, and actually no, I was already on his bus. So during my senior year, I wanted to go early, obviously, 7:15, be like the first person to get on his bus. I wasn't trying to, you know, I don't even know. But I just remembered one day I was on his bus. I was kind of, I don't know if I was by myself or if I was with somebody else. I probably was with somebody else. But anyways, so I was doing something, and all of a sudden, Randy Carper starts talking to me, and it's like, interesting. So we start having this really cool conversation. He's asking me about my, you know, my work and stuff, because this is whenever I was working at the elementary as a little bit of co-op. And, you know, Randy was asking me about that, and, you know, I was telling him about my work and stuff, and Randy told me that he actually works at a concession stand. Like, he has his own concession stand company, which is really interesting. It's called Carper's Concessions. Check it out. I've never ate at that concession yet. I would like to try it. It'd be cool to try. But check it out. It's called Carper's Concession. But anyways, that conversation was just so cool. And Randy Carper, just a real nice bus driver. I'm thankful for him. And yes, I'm thankful for Junior Pheasant also. You know, he's safe overall. You know, sometimes he does drive like a maniac a couple times. But overall, a very good bus driver. I'm thankful for Junior Pheasant. And yes, Fred. I'm thankful for Fred as well. And all the other people that sub anytime Randy Carper ain't driving. So I'm thankful for them. And that's what I'm thankful for. So thank you for watching this special video. And happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's watching, to all my subscribers, to all my family members, my coworkers, my coaches, our bus drivers. Happy Thanksgiving. And thank you, viewers, for watching this special video. As always, if you like these kinds of videos, be sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And hit that notification bell so you'll be notified when a new video is up on the channel. And if you'd like to know more about Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore, you can find me on Facebook at Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore Official. And if you want to, share these videos with anybody that's a Blue Pirate or Lady Pirate fan that likes to watch Williamsburg sports. Share it with them. Thank you, viewers, for watching. Happy Thanksgiving to everybody that's going to be watching this and everybody that I work with every single season. Thanks for watching. And this is Patrick from Williamsburg Blue Pirate Games Galore, signing off.